the most grossly incompetent man in government, the worst president ever of any country. The whole world is laughing at him. He's a fool. A gentleman named Donald J. Trump.
The campaign rally that Trump attended took place in Wildwood, New Jersey, despite the fact that he was subjected to continuous gagging and decisions from the sleepy court. It shouldn't come as much of a surprise that he was talking a lot of garbage. Nevertheless,
you cannot call Chris Christie a fat pig. You cannot do that. He's a fat pig because you're not allowed to use the fat word. Greatest speech was that. Who else is drawing like that? Nobody could draw crowds like that. How great was I? Frank, I'm sorry. Now, Pavarotti was a good friend. First Lady, how great a speech was that?
The most surprising thing that took place at this rally was not with Trump, but rather with the strange people who were listening to him. It would appear that the United States of America is gradually becoming dissatisfied with Trump and his mouth.
Emmanuel, hi.
You want to go?
Like everyone else?
Yeah.
We're all friends.
Because that would be, yeah, because that would be like if we win big.
As evidenced by the fact that they gradually started to leave the stadium in unison. And here's the real kicker. Even some of Trump's most devoted supporters participated in this mysterious march toward the monument. It was a terrible reality check for Trump, and it was a moment that was genuinely humiliating for him.
So I was in New Hampshire, and he was flying. He's like totally entertained. It's called Trump derangement syndrome.
It was never brought to Mr. Shits and Pants' attention how trashy he was that evening, but perhaps this united action by the crowd will provide him with some insight. Moreover, what is even more shocking is the fact that Trump, despite the initial response of the crowd, still did not fully comprehend the situation. He continued to behave as if he was unaware that anyone was going, but in reality, he was. In the meantime, even those who were sitting in the front row were unable to tolerate his nonsense, and most importantly, the mighty MAGA.
Executing the baby after birth. Execute the baby. Execute the baby after birth. Oh, Donald, I love you so much. You're doing such a good job. That's nice. He's a nice looking... Oh, that's me.
What is the MAGA acronym? The individual slipped out of the room as if Trump did not exist. Please take a look at how enthusiastic the MAGA crowd used to be at Trump rallies.
But they're forcing them on you, and you can't do it. It's undisciplined. I think they're good. I think Elon is a friend of mine. Not everybody should have one. If you want to go with me, I'd love to do it, but don't take an electric car because you're making about 10. You'll be very late.
At the very beginning of the rally in New Jersey, this is how they seemed. You should realize that Trump's success in causing even his most devoted fans to withdraw from the arena was the point at which he finally reached his breaking point. In addition, you are undoubtedly curious about the words spoken by the orangutan lord that were so offensive that they were forced to depart.
Your phone too, because I'm not going to.
But I said, you cannot call him a fat pig. Leave the arena. And the guy didn't know what was happening. I said, don't worry about it. Please, sir, if you call him a fat pig once more, I'm going to have you. Cannot call Chris Christie a fat pig. You cannot do that.
Okay, here's a hint for you. If you had any knowledge about speeches, you would agree that that was very honest, especially coming from someone who had previously run for president and was a candidate for the presidency. Trump had to squander everyone's precious time with half-assed jokes, useless statements, and uninvited visitors on stage, rather than divulge his methods and plans to win the election or other kinds of information that his fans would find helpful. He did this in order to avoid revealing information that would be of value to his supporters. Now we don't know if Trump's brain has been messed with because he spent the entire day in court and he's having trouble upstairs, or if he's just so annoyed and frustrated about the whole thing that he's venting his frustration on his poor, or maybe he's just trying to dance around the gag order a bit now that he's got a chance to have some freedom. In any case, the American people deserve better than the nonsense that Trump has to offer, and the MAGA may have just realized that they too deserve better than Trump. At this point, thousands of people who support the MAGA have started to lower their heads.
Your taxes are going to go up 4 times if this lunatic is elected. It's going to go up 4 times. And by the way, I run out of Washington and they have big meetings in Washington. It doesn't do anything to win. They think that that's going to win. It's not going to win.
You could say, oh, people are coming in. People aren't coming in. People are leaving.
It was only a matter of time before Trump's political career falls into turmoil as well, or perhaps even into prison, taking into account the fact that Trump's anchorman, MAGA, is gradually drifting in a different direction. Much if Trump was already a crazy job to begin with, it is unfortunate that he has grown much more so after only 1 week of remaining silent in court without making any statements. Is it possible that the shocking testimonies from porn actress Stormy Daniels and other pals who turned adversaries had an effect on Trump's ego and his capacity to reason? Donald Trump has a lot of things he wants to get off his chest, as evidenced by his awkward performance at this Wildwood event. Regrettably, he was successful in encouraging his audience to get up and move around. In light of the current state of affairs, a great number of Trump supporters are pondering the following question: is the unstoppable former president gradually starting to lose his mind? I want to make sure you are aware that this was a live event that was not edited in any manner. It is abundantly clear that this entire hush money trial is not doing any good for Trump. At this point, it is possible that this individual requires a few prayers, so perhaps we might make a call to a priest or something like. It is doubtful that there is a single person on the entire earth who is capable of understanding what Trump meant when he referred to the Hannibal Doctor or the Silence of the Lamb.
Silence of the Lamb. Has anyone ever seen The Silence of the Lamb? The late, great Hannibal Lecter is a wonderful man. He oftentimes would have a friend for dinner.
It appears as though he is communicating in a language similar to that of an alien or in a form of secret code that only he is able to comprehend. Whatever the case may be, the people of the United States have been shaking their heads in an attempt to make sense of the words that President Trump has spoken. It is unfortunate that we are all left with more questions than answers, and it is hilarious because this is only the third rally that Trump has staged since the beginning of the hush money trial almost 1 month ago. In the event that Trump is already losing his cool right from the beginning of the trial, what would happen if the trial continued for several weeks or months? In the event that he were to start singing nursery rhymes at his rallies, or perhaps he would just do what he does best, which is to fart. As a result of his wicked past, Trump's goals of dominating the United States of America were already beginning to become unstable before this point. But it's possible that his recent actions at this event have just pushed him over the line, making his political race irreparably more complicated than it could have been otherwise. Americans were already groaning about having to pick between two stupid politicians who had been running for office for a long time. But it appears like Trump has just further demonstrated that he is even less capable than Biden. But regardless of how you look at it, Trump has been the true loser in many different facets as of late. As an illustration, there was a time when Trump had the unpleasant habit of referring to the present Vice President of the United States as Sleepy Joe.
Now, Sleepy Joe would say the unemployment rate in the great state of Ohio. No, you're in South Carolina. Joe, you're in South. They come up and you ever see the guy that no, it's South Carolina, it's not Ohio. Okay. And he goes, all right, Iowa? Did you say Iowa? No. I did that like 7 times. If I did that once, it would be the end of the road.
Recent judicial proceedings, on the other hand, have demonstrated that Trump is the most restful person in the world. The fact that he never stops nodding off in court is so ludicrous that even his attorneys are considering filing a lawsuit against him for violating the law. Of course, that is not all. Donald Trump's incoherent mutterings and inappropriate use of events on stage.
New York, where I'm being forced to endure a Biden show trial carried out by radical Democrat district attorney. You know who he is? Fat Al.
Were another method that he employed on multiple times to undermine Vice President Joe Biden's sense of pride. But lo and behold, Trump is now the one who is making gibberish statements on stage and stringing together words that have no right being in the same phrase alongside one another. Is it possible that we are dealing with the same Trump? Is it possible that Trump has taken a dose of the medicine that Biden uses to treat dementia? Or is this just another one of his Trump cards? However, given the current trajectory of events, it is possible that it is only a matter of time before Trump loses his balance on stage or forgets his way around during live engagements, much as we have witnessed former Vice President Joe Biden do on multiple occasions. In the meanwhile, however, Trump continues to be Trump, or at least his mouth is remaining Trump. The following is a selection of the profanity and vitriol that he unleashed during the rally, at least some of which we were able to comprehend. In addition to that, the fart lord with orange hair possessed a great deal of other items that were not necessary to expel from his windpipe. pipe. The tongues are wagging at this very moment. The truth of what is going on with Trump is unknown to everyone. It would appear that the unexpected testimony from Daniels had a significant impact on him, causing shock waves to travel throughout his entire body and thinking process.
You know, you can use almost any word, but you can't use the fat word. If you call somebody fat, it's career end. Fat Alvin. We're all fat. Everything they touch turns to what? Hot dogs. Let's talk about hot dogs. I just had one, actually. I just had the best hot dog.
Since then, we seriously question whether or not the former president has even been able to take a breath in a normal manner. When they had a steamy sexual session that night, Stormy Daniels rocked him hard, much harder than she did. She rocked him with her powerful voice. On the other hand, this was only the end of the iceberg. Trump's situation is set to become significantly more intense in the near future as a result of the appearance of his former associate Michael Cohen in court. Everyone will be able to view his filthy rear end because it will be exposed. In addition, let us pray that he is wearing his diaper on that particular day, just in case he needs to urinate or defecate. The campaigns of Donald Trump have always been a topic of discussion in the media, with hundreds of people attending to listen to the egotistical and emotionally unstable candidate for president speak. On the other hand, it would appear that the bulk of people are merely there for the humorous spectacle, and not because they adore or support this man. The most recent observations even give the impression that his numbers are typically exaggerated. In spite of the fact that there were just a few thousand people present, there were certain news outlets who said that hundreds of thousands of people from the United States showed up to support the elderly man who was wearing diapers. There is a good chance that you are correct in your belief that everything is a massive hoax and propaganda. To tell you the truth, it is not unexpected at all because all of Trump's stats are typically fictitious or fraudulent, just like the figures that he uses to describe his billionaire cash account. Some news outlets have even gone so far as to exaggerate the number of individuals who attended the event that Trump held in Wildwood, New Jersey, claiming that over 880,000 people were present. In the meantime, the reality is that nobody truly checked or confirmed the information. It was just reiterated by everyone after Trump. And we are all aware of how crafty and exaggerated the orange-haired fart lord can appear to be. Closer glance reveals the true appearance of the throng who attended Trump's rally. It is both humorous and heartbreaking at the same time, particularly when one takes into consideration the fact that honest individuals gave up their valuable time in order to wait patiently for him to speak. Reports indicate that some supporters of Trump started turning up as early as noon.
To send 28,000 soldiers to our border free of charge. They gave us free of charge. That was it. It was actually, she was doing well for president, and then I came up with the name Pocahontas, and that was it.
Yelling and making a nuisance out of themselves while begging for Trump. All of the people that came on stage to kill time while Trump was still on his way were verbally killed by these fans, and they even threw a welcoming party for Trump when he drove in. But when everything was said and done, it turned out to be a show. The hearts of Trump's supporters in New Jersey were broken by his actions. Who can say for sure whether this is the final straw that will bring his already scandalous political race to a catastrophic end?